Happy Sunday. It's Sheba Sunday. Hey y'all. Good to see you. What a week. Welcome to my show. I'm Sheba. This is Sheba Sunday. Gonna Palo Santo this bitch. Hey, how was your week? Did you see me on Friday for the Black Bunny Hole? Did you go down the Black Bunny Hole with me? If not, you got to. What did I'm on. So first, I started Black Bunny Hole with my sound off, so I was talking for like a minute, just like, um, but I just need to make a mistake like once or twice, and then I'm usually pretty good about it. So Black Bunny Hole was great. We talked about Jada Pinkett Smith. It was so interesting. She's so powerful. It was I'm such a high standard for myself. It was kind of a long episode. Just because I was like, God damn, she's done so many things, like before the age of 25. So it was really interesting, inspiring. You know, everyone kind of, I think there's this idea that like Will Smith is the powerful one, the awesome, like amazing one. But I think it's Jada, you know? Tupac loved her. Will Smith loved her. Just like exceptional men are obsessed with her. And I think you guys should just take some notes. I know an exceptional man who's pretty obsessed with me, and better get on board, because this train, you know, is a spaceship that is just... Anyway. Hey, Billy. Hi. Ugh, my beloved. What a week. Okay, so starting off with my high notes, I might change it to like, I don't know, a clever something about gratitude, my gratitude workout, gratitude practice. Um, I had a good week. It was really fun and interesting. Tuesday, I went to a See You Next Tuesday dance party held by my friend Stacy Chambers, and it's always like I always get like there's those parties are always filled with like interesting weirdos, like a random assortment of like the most like kind of strange but like awesome characters in Baltimore. A lot of white people, but the people of all races that come are like interesting. It takes a special type, and I love to see like interesting people gathered. So it was fun. I invited some of my friends. Some of them were able to come, and it was great. It was an interesting experience, certainly. And then after we went and did karaoke, that was really fun. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. My friend did this fire rendition of Forgot About Dre. She did all the parts, and it was just like, I was like, so cool. I love getting to know people, like, and whatever their weird thing that they're geeky about, I was like, yes, give it to me. Give it to me. Um, yeah, then Thursday, my friend Sakura came to town, and you know, we just, whenever she comes, whenever like people come to visit me, but like particularly, I think this friend, like we get into like have the most interesting conversations, and we always do a fun, awesome adventure, and then just like kind of chill and live our life, and it's so exciting and interesting. I really value her perspective, Billy too, and it's fun, y'all. It's fun. Um, and so yeah, so we got to have some cool convos, and that like she just left a couple minutes ago actually, and her convo, like she's great at asking questions, and one of the things she asked, you know, she was like, what am I going to talk about today? And I was like, I don't even know. Like, there's just been so many things. Oh, I didn't even tell. Okay, so we went on Thursday. She came and we went to this Kalela concert. Do you know of Kalela? Let me bring her up real quick. But I hadn't known of her really. I think Billy showed me a song of hers. Um, and Sakura, this is like one of her favorite artists. Look at her. Look at this hottie from the DMV also. Just like so beautiful, and like she's like a beautiful alien like goddess, and like I'm just obsessed. And at her show that we went to, the 930 Club, um her fan base so loyal and huge. Like people have been, she's been at this for like 7 years. She's 39 years old, by the way, which like I love someone who like comes to their thing later in life. Like I think a lot of us were told like, you know, you have to do it this way in this particular way, and once you're on that path, that's you. And I like people who are like, does it have to be? Anyway, it's 111, by the way. So I'm loved, I'm safe, I'm powerful, I'm free. My timing's perfect. All the good things in my life are infinite. Everything I need is already within me. I'm luck. Everything always works out for me. I attract wealth and money. I am full of grace. I'm full of joy. I'm full of ease. Anyway, that brings us to what we're going to talk about today, which I kind of didn't really know, but what came to me when Billy asked, like, so what's the title of this? I said, Being Known. Which I feel like I might have already done a episode of, maybe one of my first couple was about that. But yeah, I was talking, me and Billy were talking with my friend, and she was like, you know, it's crazy to her that like being perceived, it sucks. Like I do kind of, it's so weird when you're out in public. So when we were at this dance party, it's so strange to be out amongst people, and I'm like, everyone's perceiving me. And you know, it's different from when I'm at home all the time around Billy, around myself, around people who perceive me very well, and who know a lot about me and love me. It's weird to be around other people and to like have them perceive me, and like you don't know if they're perceiving you poorly. You know, you don't know who I remind them of. You don't know, like maybe they caught me on a bad day once, and that's colored their perception of me. And it's just like, I don't want to have to like exist. And certainly being a woman of color, it's just like, ugh. And Sakura was saying like, man, I can't imagine. It's like, you know, talking about myself publicly on a live, you know, that like the thought of that is like, ugh. And like, I get that. I get it. I think we're all taught to, like, sometimes too, Billy like will I'll have a show where I was just like talking kind of stream of consciousness, and he'll be like, like, why did you say that? And I don't even know. It just seems like the right thing to say at the time. And I realized later that that is not my instinct to just like say the thing usually. Other people don't think to do that. They're like, I could say something, but I don't know. It'll just be a whole thing. You know, someone will misconstrue it. Like, who wants to hear what I have to say? I get it. I get it. But I wanted to like, I don't know, like when Sakura asked me like, why, you know, why do I like kind of like talk about myself? Like I had to like, it's so interesting. You like never posed that. And so it like really helped me be like, what is it? And I gotta be honest, it has to do with like my fears of like obscurity, my fears of being rejected, of being abandoned, of being, you know, I don't know, like unuseful, like people being like, why are you here? And because of that, not being safe, me not thriving, me not surviving. So I feel like as a counter to that, I want to be known. I like when people know me, even if like they're kind of like, I don't really get it, but like I know her. My friend was saying when she tries to describe me, it's like, you know, it's hard. Like you kind of got to experience me. Like, what do you say? Quirky black girl who's like a lawyer, but also a comedian. And she just, I'm just me. I'm very myself. I transcend these binary definitions that they try to put us into. And I think I'm trying to like lean more into being incomprehensible. Like I do have a lot of anxiety about like, oh, will people take this the wrong way? Will people like assume I'm this? Will people assume I'm, false? Will they assume, I don't know, just negative things about me? And just realizing like, yeah, they might. And still I'll be safe, you know? I think being known, there's this, I think maybe Maya Angelou said, nothing that I accept about myself can be used to reduce me. Um, this other, quote that I'll talk about that you might have seen it in a meme form. Um, the quote is from this dude, Tim Kreider. There we go. You can see that. Let me do one less. All right. You can really see that. 200. So this guy, Tim Kreider, wrote an essay and he said, if we want the rewards of being loved, we have to submit to the mortifying ordeal of being known. If we want the rewards of being loved, we have to submit to the mortifying ordeal of being known. And I had to be honest with myself. I want to be loved. I want people to love me. I'm not one of those people who's like, I would rather people hate me than love me. Like, not me. I want people to love me. I receive a lot of love. I love making others feel loved. I know what it's like to feel loved, and I would like that to feel that all the time. And it's interesting that we're kind of told that like the risks that come with being loved outweigh the rewards of it. So we shouldn't want to be known. We should want to keep ourselves like small and like, like a positive image of us. Like we don't want people to know too much. We want them to know that we work in a good job, that we're hardworking, that we're decent, that, we're happy. And it's like, why? Who am I performing that for? What if I'm not that decent? What if I'm horrible? But what if I'm great? What if I'm better than decent? So anyway, to keep going in this, he's in essence arguing to achieve deep relationships with others, one must bear the complexities and contradictory aspects of themselves they may not wish to share with the outside world. And I've always been told, like, by teachers growing up, like, Sheba, like, great student, pleasure to have, but she talks too much. She's always talking, and maybe that was little Sheba, like, always being like, I want to be known. I want people to know about me. I have a lot of thoughts. I'm curious about a lot of stuff. I, want to know. My Black Bunny whole tagline, I fuck around so you can find out. I love finding out. I love, understanding what the stories are and what people think is reality. I'm like, annoyed by this, that, like, video that's going on underneath there. Let me just see if I can just get that. I really like to know what's going on because I don't really know what's going on. So anyway, I'm just trying to I recognize that I'm brilliant, so smart, and that I could use those traits to take advantage of people and to, I'm a good performer. I could sell you a lot of stuff, a lot of bullshit ideas, a lot of stuff you don't need. But I don't like to do that. I don't know. It just feels not me, not who I want to be. And so I try to disarm myself by being like, this is what I know. I'm just making it up. I'm just trying to figure it out. These are the events and things that have happened in my life as I see it. And yeah, I don't know. I see a lot of people that I know, and myself, I grapple with this, like, um, the fear of like saying the wrong thing, um, you know, being known or seen by the wrong people, and that leading to me being killed or imprisoned or losing esteem or like losing access to the good things in life. Um, like I know there's some rappers or people who have like tweeted their location and they've been killed, you know. There have been, Fred Hamptons, Martin Luther Kings. Um, I think a lot of us have this idea of like, we've been told like, don't be too loud, don't be too out there, don't be too visible, because you're gonna get, the tall poppy gets like cut or whatever. That's not the saying, but you know what I mean. It's like, you don't want to, draw too much attention to yourself, because when they see you, they're gonna be jealous, they're gonna think poorly of you, and they're gonna crush you. And trust me, I'm afraid of being the cause of my own demise. Um, and I understand that like many will think it's like, see me kind of being vulnerable in a public way, and they'll think like, oof, that's stupid. That's crazy. That's unwise. But I don't know. I kind of think, oh, it's the Rick and Morty analogy. Scary Terry's chasing after them, and he's like, you can run, but you can't hide. So they keep running, and they're like, oh my God, he keeps finding us. Like, we have to keep running. I'm so tired. And then they're like, you know what? He keeps saying, like, you can run, but you can't hide. But, like, he wants to kill us. Why are we listening to him? Maybe we can hide and let's see what happens. So they hide, and Scary Terry's like, oh shit, like, where are they? Dang. And allows them to escape and live their lives. And I keep thinking of so many ways in which we're told something by a system that maybe isn't designed for us, non-men, non-white, non-heteronormative, um, you know, non-able-bodied or differently abled people. Like, we're told, a lot of things that are the thing. Like, you can run, but you can't hide. You, you should be smart. You shouldn't say too much about yourself. You should want to, be like, don't say the wrong thing. Don't piss off the wrong people. Careful, what you say. You want people to know your LinkedIn. They want you to know don't be too political. Don't be too big. Don't, be too sexual. You want to be a good person. Go to church. Do these jobs. And like, I don't know. Who told us all of these things? Do they really want us to win? And if they don't, maybe we should do the opposite of what they say we're supposed to do. So, I want to be loved. I know that. And I know lots of us are told that, like, in order to be loved, we want to be palatable to others. You want to, like, don't let them know about your body count. Don't let, people know about the, I don't know, the things you're not supposed to say. And we all know what those things are. Don't dress in a way that's too different from your gender. Don't be too loud if you're a woman. Don't be too soft. Don't cry if you're a man. Don't be you. In all these different ways we're told, don't be you. Be comprehensible to others. But what if we're supposed to do the opposite in order to stay safe? I see people like Donald Trump, wrong, loud, unkind, intentionally unkind, like, he's very like, this is who I am. And everyone kind of lets him be, RuPaul, like, very themselves, you know, doesn't seem too concerned that like lots of people don't get it. Lots of people don't like it. They hate it. But I don't know. RuPaul's still alive and well, married. Oh, full screen. RuPaul is still alive, living his dreams, a great teacher, able to uplift and keep others safe. Um, you know, has a child, lives on a ranch in like Wyoming or something, is a fracker, has had some not great takes on um, trans people, on the gender binary, on, race in some ways. Um, and yet, people love RuPaul. I love RuPaul, you know? I like to think of a lot of people who I love who are imperfect humans, as all of us are. And like, I have to think like, hey, if I can still love them despite their flaws, maybe in part because of their flaws, like maybe I can be loved in spite of my flaws. But I also see like, I'll see a politician, like a Republican or something, or a pastor, some religious person who's like, all about like respectability, and you have to dress this way, and you have to be a good person in this very particular capitalistic way, and you have to adhere to these roles and things, and then it comes out they were assaulting someone, or they were having consensual but freaky, not heteronormative, not, missionary style, very vanilla, something that was like outside of what we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to think of as respectable. They do something like that, and then it's all like, oh, you're a hypocrite. Oh, see, who are you? And they're all like, no, I'm this good person. I'm a decent person. I don't want to go through all that. Like, honestly, I want people to know, like Dennis Rodman, like, that man has done a lot of stuff. He's a basketball player. He's a heteronormative guy, but he married himself that one time. He was wearing dresses. He married a white woman, a sexy white woman. He makes a lot of money. He's friends with Kim Jong-il or Un, like, and we allow him to be that. And so I feel like it makes more sense to me. It like will keep me safer if I am just from the jump. Hey, I'm Sheba. I'm not a church girl. I'm not, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'm not like a caricature of what you think a black woman lawyer is supposed to be. And yet, you're still gonna fucking love me. All right? And that's okay. I'm a good person. I don't even want to say I'm a decent person. I'm a good person. I try to be really intentional about the impact I cause, and I try to reduce harm, like, in the ways that I can, Yeah, and so on this, you know, um, one must bear the complexities and contradictory aspects of themselves they may not wish to share with the outside world. If you guys have heard my to be young, gifted, and black at a sex party story, it's excellent. Let me know in the comments if you want me to put that out again, because it's a really great story. And it was my first foray into like publicly being myself, not just the kind of curated version of myself. I didn't realize that people were perceiving me very well. I was afraid to like, I didn't post that often, like on my Instagram or Facebook, because I was afraid that people weren't gonna love it, And so I would only post a couple of things, because I also understand there's this idea that like, what people put on social media isn't necessarily what their life actually is. They just post the good things, so you can't really judge a book by its cover. And I was aware of that. And so I was like, I don't want people to think that I have this terrible life and I'm only posting the good things. Um, and so I ended up not posting the vast majority of like the awesome things that I have. I do have a really awesome life. And it's weird to kind of accept that and to be like, you know, certainly like as a black person, as a black woman, like my life is full of joy. And I think in so many ways we're told that like to be black is to soldier through a world that doesn't see you and it wants to crush you and it treats you like you're nothing and you have to work 3 times as hard to get half the respect, the success, the trappings of a white man. And like, honestly, that's not necessarily my story. Like, I was born to parents who worked hard and blah 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 for whatever reason had a lot of resources, and they took one look at me and named me Sheba after a famous queen, and met all of my needs, set me up for a really great life. I still have, my mother is still a huge part of my life. My family is. They love me and support me. And I don't know, the things that come easily to me are things that happen to be like lucrative and other people seem to think positively of. And I'm just like, shit, I'm lucky. That's awesome. And I hated the idea that like, because my story is so different and it's not this story of trauma and soldiering on and that people weren't going to want to hear it. And they might not. I'm not saying people are clamoring to hear my story. But I am saying when I told that story about me and Billy at a sex party, I was afraid that, there was this part in it about a not fully consensual blowjob that I was ashamed of. And when I first told it in my class, I was like, I'm thinking of adding this part about it. And everyone in it, all the women were like, wow, I thought I was the only one who's done something like that. And my teacher had said, when writing a personal story, no one wants to hear about how you did everything right and you always made the right choice. You always succeeded, that when you fell down, you got back up and you made it the next time. Like, they want to hear about your scars, your stumbles, your work in progressness, your imperfections. And not necessarily because they want to use it against you. I think people want to hear about that because that's them. That's the relatable part. So Billy said, it's so challenging to really accept yourself fully against those judgments and then to publicly express that acceptance. Not easy. Absolutely. It is. It is a challenge. And I had to recognize about myself that things that are challenging to me, for whatever reason, I still make it look kind of easy. Like, because I'm, not everyone I'm told can sit in front of a camera, like, and not have a lot of feedback and just talk for an hour. I don't know why, but I absolutely can. I just think it's just like me sitting in my room talking to myself, That's what I'm doing right now, like looking at my hot self, getting quality over quantity of feedback. And it's an interesting task to be like, wow, what will I say? Who will I be? Even if I don't have people being like, yes, keep going. You're great. You're awesome. I want to hear more. Really being self-directed to be like, y'all might not want to hear this. This might be TMI. I know I learned from Red Table Talk from Jada. I hear a lot of people sometimes who are like, if I have to hear another thing about Jada Pinkett Smith's life, like too much, I don't want to hear all that. I think that's them projecting their own shame about their life and the intricacies, the contradictions, the messy parts of who they are that they're afraid to show to the world. So they project that onto someone they see doing it. And they're like, I would never open myself up for judgment, for negative judgment. No. I'm like, I don't know. Say what you want about Jada. She's a multimillionaire. She's does all the things she wants to do. She gets to be a full human. She gets to still have a very amazing partner who fosters that in her, who celebrates her for that. And the idea that, she's not supposed to, she's a wife and a mother, and she's not supposed to have certain conversations with her adult children. She's not supposed to admit certain things about the fullness of who she is. And I see people saying that about her, and I know they mean that about themselves. I know they mean that about me. I know they mean that about everyone else. Like, they're trying to police everyone. We're trying to, we know we're supposed to say, oh, we support free speech. Everyone should, be honest about who they are. But we don't really mean that. We don't mean that for ourselves. We don't mean that for others. And, I'm someone who likes to kind of be like, wait, why are we doing that? Do we have to? Can we not? And I like people who think similarly. Okay, let me give you more context for that quote about the mortifying ordeal of being known. Also, like, we have to submit to the mortifying ordeal. Submitting. You know me. I hate talk about women should submit. Black women should submit. Because it's often a very gendered thing, where we never think of men submitting as a positive. We think it's like, you do it unwillingly. You don't want to submit. A man doesn't want to submit to someone. What? The men are the leaders, And so the idea of submitting is emasculating for them. It makes them feel small and out of control. Out of control. Like, you want to be the dominator. You want to be the person who makes others submit if you're a man. But if you're a woman, you should want to naturally submit. And so many of us, we might not say that. Some of us might. But some of us have accepted that it's easier to just submit. And that maybe if I show that I'm a good woman who submits and is obedient and subverts my will for that of a man, I will be safe. I'll be loved. But I don't see many women who are safe. Certainly, I don't see many women who are loved, really, for who they are. They're appreciated for the valuable services that they provide, but not in a way that we're going to actually pay them, that we're actually going to speak kindly about them. And that's not enough for me. I'm going to need y'all to accept this whole incomprehensible diamond that you've got. The context behind that quote, this is back in 2013. This guy wrote a piece in the New York Times relating a story about he was accidentally CC'd on an email by someone disapproving of his goats. I guess he owned goats or something. Very, very white person kind of story. But he then discusses the anxiety about knowing what others think of one behind one's back, and transitions into posting that it's still possible and perhaps even necessary to love someone despite their flaws. He writes, the operative fallacy here is that we believe that unconditional love means not seeing, we believe that unconditional love means not seeing anything negative about someone. And I think we can relate to that. We're told that, we can't judge. We don't want to be a hater. We don't want to, tell someone the truth sometimes. Unconditional love means not seeing anything negative about someone, when in reality, when it really means pretty much the opposite. Loving someone despite their infuriating flaws and essential absurdity. Ooh. He then concludes with the phrase, if we want the rewards of being loved, we have to submit to the mortifying ordeal of being known. Yeah, that's what it's about. Unconditional love is loving someone despite their infuriating flaws and essential absurdity. Like, if y'all think my family doesn't think I am absurd, this story that I wrote and I read as part of this, a show, I invited my mom, I invited my sister, I invited my brother, my family, my friends, and I was inviting them to hear a story about me at a sex party. And after the Zoom, I could see my sister in a little box being like, oh my God, Oh my God. My sister's always like, just like, please, no more information about you. We know. We love you. We know. But that's the key. My family loves me. Like, my mom was like, ah, that crazy girl. And they might not understand me fully, but I'm pretty sure they are inspired by me. They love me. That they are like, at a girl, you know? They love that. I think people see, like, they want to be able to risk being themselves publicly and people still loving them. People still being like, wow, you're even more complex and fascinating than I thought before. Um, yeah, unconditional love is loving someone despite their infuriating flaws and essential absurdity. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to put up with them mistreating you. You know, if my being me, if my actions are like harming you in a substantive way, you know, don't like, that doesn't mean you're supposed to like just tolerate my mistreatment. But if I'm not mistreating you, if I'm just being, you know, like, that might be a flaw of mine. Being, I used to really, I really wanted the idea, I'm a Scorpio. I love the idea of being like mysterious, but I cannot shut the fuck up about myself. Like, y'all don't, like, this is literally what Sheba Sunday is about, just me, like, my musings and like what I've been thinking about and stuff. And um ooh, it's interesting. Kalela was talking about like, apparently she's had like several albums, and it started with kind of like an ambient dance music, and now it's more, I don't know, it's just an evolution. And apparently her most recent album, some people are like, oh, it's different, it's weird, I don't get it, I don't like it. And at her show, she was like, thank you to my day ones. You know, people have these expectations of you and what you should do, what your journey should be. And thank you for letting me do whatever I want and loving me for it. And that's what I want. And like, she was very like, you know, I'm so glad, she's from DC. And so she's like, I'm so glad to be home. I wanted this to feel intimate, you know, even though there's so many of us here, I wanted this to still feel like an intimate show. And I want you to know, I'm starting to blow up. Like, I'm like, this is going to be one of the last times you're going to be able to afford seeing me in an intimate space like this. And like, we're all supposed to kind of feel like humble and be like, thank you, I'm so grateful for every model, like for the, you know, if there's 3 people, you know, I'm happy. And like, yes, but you can also be aware that like, you're awesome and amazing, and it's just a matter of time before you're going to be famous. RuPaul was always like, you know, her mother, RuPaul's mother went to a psychic while she was pregnant with RuPaul, and the psychic told his mother that, well, it's going to be a boy and he's going to be famous. And RuPaul's mother told him this story since he was a little kid. And so he always knew that he was going to be famous. So all he had to do was sit back and wait to see what it was going to be, you know, and just be himself, knowing that one of the things that he does is going to be the thing that makes him famous. And I love that idea. I like to think of that too for myself, kind of like, I've always had this inner sense that I was going to be famous. And my mother like has often told me, always told me that, you know, I march the beat of my own drum. She says that she's created a diamond. All I have to do is shine. And it's been really nice over the past couple of years to like internalize that message and be like, ooh, maybe I do just have to be. I just have to shine. I don't have to be polished. I don't have to be validated by some white man. I can just rest in the knowledge that I'm enough. And I don't know, maybe you can rest in that knowledge too, right? You know, and I've been loving getting to know more, like just trying to figure out what I'm doing here. And I really appreciate people for being along this journey with me as I am just trying to figure it out. I for full disclosure, disarming myself more. I don't know what I'm doing. I recognize there is a risk that my being vulnerable could bite me in the butt. My meatiest place. Um, Sorry, got distracted thinking about my butt, but it's so hot. It's crazy. It's so amazing. Sorry, this is a tangent. I like walk past mirrors in my house when I just walk around naked, and sometimes I like catch my like reflection, and I'm like, oh, whew, god damn, that is a beautiful work of art, and it's really nice to become one's own muse, and to be like, I can't expect other people to love me if I don't love myself. And I can't expect other people to, if I'm going to be loved, I have to be known. So I can't expect other people to know me if I don't know myself. So I appreciate my friend Sakura. I appreciate Billy, my family, the other people who help me ask questions about me, about my feelings. And like that, try to get to know me, because it helps me get to know myself. And sometimes people will point out things about me and I'm like, oh, I didn't see it that way, and thank you for your perspective. It really helps reorient me and to like recalibrate, like, oh, maybe that's who I am, maybe that's another part of me that I didn't realize. Work of art. Thank you. Absolutely. And what do you do with a great work of art? You show it the fuck off. You like, let me go to the Louvre, let me go to the Met, let me go, I want to be a mural. I want everyone to know about me. I want to be the Mona Lisa, and I want to be whoever painted the Mona Lisa. I know there's the thing of like, women are used to being perceived and like kind of put on this pedestal of being the subject of admiration, but never the like doer. Not the like art isn't as accepted as us being the art, if that makes sense. We'll like give the credit to a man for copying the image of a beautiful woman, but if a woman were to do that to herself, we're still like not comfortable with that. When we see Oprah on the cover of every one of her magazines, we're like, ugh, so full of herself. But like, if I was Oprah, like, I want everyone to know this is me. I'm awesome. These are all the different, drags of me, and you're gonna fucking love it. I think it was like Jennifer Lewis, who was like, I think she might have been playing a character, but like she was talking about like she had a lot of pictures of herself in her house, and she's like, you think Whitney Houston decorates her house with pictures of another bitch? That's real. Why on earth? Like, I'm amazing. Why would I have a bunch of other people? I am inspired by myself. And so, of course, I want to, like, look at pictures and depictions of my original inspiration. I love other people drawing me and, like, giving me their lens of how they perceive me. I think that's a very interesting thing. It doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, this person perceives me in this way, that must be the truth of who I am. But like, I just think of it like I'm curious about it. Like, wow, I never saw it that way. And when someone sees me in a particular way, I'm like, what experiences must this person have gone through that like gets them to me and they see me in this way? Interesting. Anyway, I know it's cringe to like want people to love you and to want people to perceive you well and to think highly of yourself. Yeah. But I posted a thing the other day, like, once I accepted I was cringe, I was free to be myself. And that's real. Like, I have to see that when people perceive me as like, oh, it's so cringe. Oh my God. Like, I can't believe she did that. I could never do that. Like, that's them projecting their own self-censorship onto me. They would never be public that they like themselves, that they're proud of the life they've created, that, they really like the person that they've chosen, that they, you know, I don't know, that they are flawed, that they're imperfect, that they don't get it right all the time, that they don't really know what they're doing. And they project that onto me when I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, you know, I'm still great. And I don't know. I don't really know if any of this is going to help or if it's going to be like, I don't know, meaningful. It might just help me to know myself better. But I don't know. I have an inner knowing that people are going to be like looking back through all of my videos and being like, whoa, Easter eggs. Oh my God. Brilliant. You always going to see this brilliance. It's just, you might as well figure it out now. Okay, let me put also this, like, what did I see? It was a real, no, let's see. Just this guy, Sheba Sunday.
Of 30 and 50. If you're not between the ages of 30 and 50, keep scrolling because this video is not for you, okay? Are they gone? Is it just us people between the ages of 30 and 50? Yo, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But we can't let other people know that we don't know what we're doing, like especially the younger people, because they look up to us and we have to be all like strong and confident. And the older people, we can't let them know because like we have to prove them wrong about literally everything. So what are we doing? How do we figure this out? I don't know what I'm doing. Answer me. I'm asking for a friend. I am friend. Friend is me. This is a video for anybody between the ages of
I think we can all like relate to that. Certainly between the ages of 30 and 50. I get that. Like, I know that we all have this inner knowing that we're not supposed to let anyone in on the reality that we do not know what we're doing, that we're winging it, that we're just doing like kind of what we've heard might be the best chance of success and survival and thriving. And we're trying to do that. And we're a lot of us are afraid that we're failing, that we're not doing it right, that we're imposters, and that we're going to be found out. And that when we're found out that we don't know anything, well, that's unspeakable. We just can't ever let that eventuality happen. And I get it. It's scary. But let me go to my final thoughts, I think. It is scary, but I think like, oh, did I like forget what I was gonna say? Okay, being known, we don't know what we're doing. Yeah. I suspect that like we all know that we're supposed to not let on that we don't know what we're doing, that we're just making it up and we're just trying things, that we're throwing things at the wall, hoping they stick. But maybe maybe we are supposed to, because we've been told in so many different ways that we're not supposed to. Maybe we're supposed to do that. Maybe we're supposed to do the thing that they say, like, no, you can't do that. You don't do that. I just see all these different examples of people who do the thing you're not supposed to do, and they're still okay. I recognize that the series of affirmations that I do on the regular, um, that it starts with I'm loved. I keep trying to tell myself I'm loved. I'm trying to like get myself to believe that I'm loved. I don't have to do anything else for it. I'm loved. I'm safe. Everything always works out for me. I'm full of grace. I'm full of joy. I'm full of ease. Those are all things I want to call into my life and recognize the ways in which those things are already true. So it's not like a future oriented thing. Like, I will be safe. I will be free. I will be loved. I like to accept that I already am all of those things. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying. I'm just seeing certain people, their story, how they do things in life resonates with me. I would like to incorporate that into my life, and I'm just doing it. And I'm very lucky that every time I do, I don't know, people love me more and more. I put that story about the sex party out, and after that, I got asked to do another story. I started doing stand up. I started like doing these talks with Billy, live talks with Billy, because like writing out a thing and editing it and testing it on people and then putting it out is one thing. Just speaking live, that's a whole different thing. That's so scary. Like I have this anxiety, and I probably have already done something. Like I've said a thing and it was the wrong thing, and like shit, why didn't I know to not say that thing? Like yes, be open, but like not that open. And I don't know, I try to release the fear around that. So yeah, I have this idea of like, I can either be super mysterious, but I can read that like I'm actually not that great of at like not telling about myself. Like I love people knowing me. I love to be like, this is me. Hello, hi. These are all the things. This is my traumas. This is my dreams. And I think you can be mysterious in that way, just like being like, nope, no one's gonna know anything about me. You're just gonna have to guess. And that works very well for some people. But for me, I think it's also mysterious to be like, let me tell you everything about me and let you know that even the things I've told you, there's still, like, obviously, I haven't told you everything. I've only been doing like an hour, once a week. Please, that's a scintilla of the unfathomable expanse of all the things that make me me. So it's still just as mysterious in the way that space is mysterious. We know a lot of shit about space, but we also recognize that there are some things we might not ever be able to comprehend. And that makes space still incredibly mysterious. We know a lot of shit about the ocean, and water, and the depths of the ocean. But we barely scratched the surface. We don't know all the shit that's in the ocean. Like, we know like what's like 2 miles down in the ocean. That's nothing. And that's how I am. I'm the ocean. No matter how much you think you know about me, there is still so much about me that's a mystery. And I want everyone to enjoy the ride of getting to know me. We might die, but probably won't. We'll probably be good. You know? Everything always works out for me. Ooh, that's the thing too. It's so true. Like, I get parking spots. I have an amazing life. People seem to love me. Like, the things that I do that are like, I don't know how this is going to work out, they always end up working out. So I like to draw on that knowledge for like my future actions, to be like, I might not get it. I might not know exactly how the details are going to flesh out, but I know it's going to work out. So think about that for yourself, In what ways do you know that it's going to work out? And I want to know, like, who are you more like? Someone who is like, oh my God, I would never, like, I don't want people to know me. Like, and if I do, I want it to be in a very curated way that keeps them guessing and they don't really know anything about me. Or are you more of like, I don't know. I know it's a risk to put yourself out there, but like I think it's worth it. And maybe you're in between. Maybe you're in the middle somewhere. Is there a direction that you're pointing more towards? I want to know. Let me know what's up, y'all. All right, that's about my time. Ugh, Sheba, your timing is fucking perfect, as you say. So yeah, thank you so much for getting to know me. Oh, you remember in Christmas Carol, the Ghost of Christmas Present, everyone's favorite, the big one, who's like, his memory's crazy. He's really spacey, but he's very jolly, and he's like, come know me better, man. That's me. I want you to know me better. So, one thing these lips popping, ow, ow. I love this color. It just looks like I just bit into like a juicy plum. Oh. Anyway, I love it. And I love you. You're amazing. And you've got it. This week is going to be great for you. All right? Still, my lips look weird. Hold on. Oh. There it is. Love you. See you next week. Everything's made up. All right? So don't be so serious with it. And we're going to go here. And we out. See you tomorrow for How Billy Sees It. Learn some more freaking wisdom. Love you. Later.